final stage as we're adding this in is we are going to want to add in a player and an enemy so we can keep track of those. And then eventually we'll go from a single enemy to an array of enemies, but first let's get the logic working with one. So we'll just call it enemy E and player P to make it easy to read. So P is a new player, E is a new enemy. And our enemy class doesn't take any parameters. Our player class doesn't take any parameters. So we don't have to pass anything in with that. So once we have that, this is where we want to then start adding that into our game logic. So this would be our game. So we have the timer stuff. We have the button. We're not going to care about the button anymore. So I think I'm just going to comment that out, and instead in its place we'll just go p.update, p.display, e.update, e.display. Let's run this and see what our game looks like. Hey, look. All right. And I want the player on top of the enemy. I forgot that because it's how we've been doing it in the past. We do all the enemies, then we display the player on top. So let's check that one more time. Okay, good, because the player is translucent. All right, so that displays it. Now what we can do is just simply use our intersect here. So if the circle intersect returns true for a player and enemy, let's say it's being hit, and then we'll change our state to win. So right now we have that we have our I'm not going to press, we're just going to simply run into it like we've done before, and boom, I won. Now we didn't really, oh, no. So remember, oh, look, I won again. I can keep winning by running into them while they're down there. Sweet. Okay. All right. So we've got a few things we need to take care of. One is we can position them off screen so I can't run into them. If I am going to leave them piled up at the bottom of the screen, then we probably need to make that, yeah, when we intersect and if their state isn't hit. And maybe I want to make it that I have to press the button on them, so I actually have to click. Similar to what we did with the mouse button. Not 1 equal sign, 2 equal sign. Alright, so now click here. Now I have to actually click on it to make that happen. Now let's, oh. But we can see the enemy's not resetting. So let's look, does the enemy have, it has an update method, it has a display method, but it doesn't have a reset method. So, just like we reset the game, let's reset our enemies. So we give them a reset method. So the reset method, typically what we end up doing on it is we are resetting their x and y, their vx and vy values, and then we can, so we're resetting pretty much color, hit, speed, and location. So I'll just copy all of that, go into reset, paste that in, Command or Control T to auto format. That now gives me a reset value for it. So going back into my reset game here, what we can do is go e dot, so we tell our enemy to reset. Now let's run this and see what happens. Click here, click on it, I won, good, and boom. So it is working. Now let's see, does our timer still work? We run out of time. And I lost. So our enemy is reset. Our game resets. We have a way to lose the game. We have the way to win the game by clicking on it. Now, what we might want to do is, instead of changing it to immediately to win, when I click on it, if we go back into our scoring method, so we have multiple enemies, so that we have our array of enemies and then we add to the score. But I'm going to leave it to you to try and explore that first, building upon the previous example using the array of enemies, using a score, and now combining that with states here, keeping in mind we need to do resets on it. Instead of resetting one, you have to use a for loop to reset all of the enemies. But I have confidence that you can get it done.